Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is our motley party for the day. Thank you for bearing with us during our little holiday hiatus there. Today I have three of my lovely players with me, and they are going to introduce them here very shortly. Starting with Rose. Who are you? What are you doing?
I didn't hear that question fully. I heard my name and then there was a slight bit of static.
Who are you and what are you doing?
Okay. I play Chamomile, the tiefling-looking druid. They're vibing. They're very confused about why no one seems to be able to see shit. And we're about to go into the scary mists and storms and stuff.
Thank you so much. And what about you, Fig? Who are you and what are you doing? May, hello.
Checking that audio on stream is working because I just
thank
do
you.
that
That is very
automatically.
important, actually.
Well, May is doing a sound check. Fig is doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but May.
Yes. So, I'm May. I play a half-orc named Pig, who is our lovely, squishy, emotionally cleric. Because he's actually sort of beefy. But yeah, he's been on a weird adventure with these hooligans for the past couple of days, and he's there. He's gonna learn some stuff.
Very well. And Sunny K, who are you and what are you doing today?
Hello, my name is Sunny K, and I will be playing the druid and witch of the woods, Yuka. She is very unused to the environs in which she now finds herself, but she's getting used to it.
And that is for today our motley band of adventurers. Now, I do think a recap is in order because it has been a while since we've last played, and I do see some new people in chat. So,
yes, please.
Which one of you would like to recap for us what's been going on here?
Not it.
May has a book.
Sorry, I'm still on island time, guys.
Anyway, I do have some post notes since I didn't write my notes down electronically last time. Where did these start? So yes, I do know that we sort of was like, we're going to Baratara. So we went to Baratara. I don't really remember anything before that happened.
Do you want me to recap the before Baratara?
Sure.
All right. So our lovely motley band of adventurers started out in a small, in a very large town, but a mining town, by the name of Ironcliff, where quite quickly they were hired to look into a problem where there was a doctor who had gone missing. While there, they learned that some alchemical experiments had gone awry. A couple of our players got poisoned and had to then go on a short quest to fix that. In that time, they learned that there has been a plague spreading throughout this town of Ironcliff. And the head doctor that they had been speaking to had gotten wind that a similar plague had infected the town of Baratara. Now, Baratara is a fishing town, a seaside town, and that is where our players decided to head to. Last session, they arrived in Baratara with the goal of learning more about this plague and potentially learning how to cure it or at least mitigate its spread so that they could return to their original city, Ironcliff, to help them. Now, May, what have you guys determined since coming to Baratara?
Yeah, so we came upon the city, and it looked quite a bit different since last Fig had been there, mostly because most of it was underwater, which, like, it is a town on the seaside, and it's got, like, canals and levees and dikes, but this thing's flooded, and there's, like, no people. So we headed to the library in some part of the city. I don't know if it's currently on the map shown on
It is actually currently on the map. Is this middle bit here? I can't ping it. Give me a second.
I can see your Yeah, I can see her.
Yeah, it's this middle place here. It's this big round building.
Yep.
Oh, if I
So
tab out, then they lose your lovely faces, unfortunately. We've still not fixed that
I
bug.
saw your little mouse
Good.
screen, buddy. What is it called?
Bring it
Cursor.
out as we
That's
go.
what it's called. I got it. So we have seen that at this library there's like something mechanical and magical that's helping keep the water away, that's sort of forming a barrier around this library. And then they were rather concerned about infection, and then hoped that all of us were clear, but they were concerned about a few of our items that were, I don't want to say tainted, but had the same I don't know, aura or sense when they sensed it. I mean, we did have a bottle of the goo, so that one makes sense, but also our various items from said merchant also had the same sort of feeling, at least that was similar. Let's see what else. And then we met our contact who, hey, I made his face and I wrote down his name.
Hey,
So,
good, I
quick
needed his
points on me.
name.
There is this little gnome fellow whose name is Charles Marlowe. At least that looks what I've written, if that seems correct to everyone else.
Sure
Marlo
does
sounds
sound like
correct. I
something
didn't
I
know
made
he was
up.
called Charles.
Yes, so we have had a conversation with this man once we've figured out we're not all currently sick, and we'd like to know about this goo disease that you've got going on here. This sort of gray ash disease floating in your water. Seems like it's making everybody sick.
Speaking of the grash disease, I'm going to roll my dice for the day to see how many infections it's spread.
Lovely.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
That's what my
Bad
dice are.
people.
And we've got some really interesting news for Ironcliffe. Good to know.
Lovely.
Are you also rolling for like curedness or nah?
So basically what I am doing, and I'll share this with the audience, is I'm rolling for disease progression. Every character or area that is infected gets a d4 rolled for them, with ones and fours meaning things happen. The basically ability for an area to get infected is at a certain percentage, and then once you are infected, I basically roll for is it getting worse.
Fair.
Yeah.
And then suppose the last thing we talked to Charles about was, I think, a location in town that seemed to be the center that was spread from the disease. And then Fig actually mentioned a place that he was interested in seeing, who was on the way, called, as he recalled it, it was Rock's Rest, but or Respite or something like that. But he was wrong. Just so everyone out there, Fig was wrong. And yeah, then we had our long rest in this central library, which hopefully we might get some overnight answers or just more information about our treasure DM, which Fig at least was searching for answers.
Very much so. Oh, I need to kick a guy from chat. Give me a second.
Be gone, bot.
Be gone. I hope that worked. Anyways, so that is where we left off. And now we are going to move into today's session and what we're doing here. So,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Could I have attuned to a thing during the last long rest?
Yes, you most certainly could have. Do you want to explain to the audience what you are attuning to?
Okay, so that's a good question. I'm not quite sure, but it didn't talk to me for 2 nights, therefore it's not cursed.
So,
At some point, Cam got, how did you describe it? Like a jawbone of a canine-like creature that works as like a mask adornment type thing.
yeah, correct. So basically what you found, like you said, it is a mask that will connect to your lower jawbone, basically sitting on top of it like a piece of jewelry. And it is carved or cast rather in the shape of a canine's lower jaw. You don't know what will happen if you put it on. However, it has been in your possession for 3 nights now, and it has not spoken to you.
Therefore, it's safe.
Originally, this was a item that you had received from the merchant, which, for those of you who do not know the merchant is a very lanky, very tall humanoid creature that can only ever move when the players are not looking at him. And it seems to just be giving out magic items whenever you meet them.
First time I didn't get one, so.
That may or may not leave a sticky residue once you take the label off. Oh, okay, you're back now. You frozen in the funniest expression, Valentine.
No, I'm trying desperately not to freeze, but yeah. So, yeah, would you like to put on this mysterious item, Cam?
Yeah. I've had it for 3 nights, therefore, time to put it on.
So, you put this, you raise this jaw up to your own face, and when you place it on, you feel the cool metal basically sort of against your skin. It's very refreshing in that way. And then, almost as if it's been suctioned on with a type of magic, you notice that it just sort of slots on perfectly. Like it seems to be following the contours of your face so that it's snug, but it does still move when you move your face underneath it. There's a ever so slight, like delicate silver chain that just sort of comes up and like hooks over your ears and then behind your neck. But even then, like, this feels almost like an excess rather than something that is necessary to keep it on. Cam, whenever you make an intimidation roll, whether that is as a humanoid or in any of your wild shapes, you get a +1 that intimidation roll.
Oh, we need that because I've been rolling less than 5 consistently.
You have been rolling less than 5 consistently. If you keep doing so, I might even give you a +2.
Yes, and I can roll an 8. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so you may adjust the magic item that you have on your character sheet to reveal that much.
Yeah.
Now.
And if I wanted to take it off, I could just take it off?
You don't see any reason you wouldn't be able to.
And I can, like, change my face and it doesn't get hindered or anything?
If you sit there and if you try and sort of either wild shape or just sort of change intrinsically, you will notice that whenever you change your biology underneath it, it's almost as if the metal itself sort of loses its shape, becomes molten, and then reforms around whatever new form you take.
Cool.
Yeah. So, you 3 wake up. You had been allowed to rest inside the library for the night. You had been given a cot and a small little chest in which you could place your belongings. And as you wake up, you see that most people are either still asleep or already up and sort of doing the tasks that are required for them to keep in contact with sort of other cities that are outside of this quarantine zone, or basically keep contact with people inside of the city who are working on keeping people fed but also uninfected. Leaving through the same second-story window that you had entered through, you see that there's a different man on guard, a tiefling with very intricate tattoos in the shape of like swirling clouds down one of his arms, who just sort of gives you all a slight nod as you leave. Climbing out the second-story window, chamomile. I assume this is going to function the same way it did the first time you guys entered, where you just
I'll make like steps.
Yeah. So chamomile.
What shade is the tiefling guard?
Red. He's like a sort of dusky red.
Okay, Cam's gonna like slowly over like the next hour transition from like purpley to a bit more burgundy.
Okay. Fair enough.
Cool person.
Like when you start unconsciously picking up someone else's accent after you've been talking to them
Yeah.
for a long time.
Exactly. You're Pity.
Oh, I love it.
Yep. Sorry,
He's-
DM. I have to
there's
blame you
sympathetic
for it,
shifting.
for any y'all that I've ever said.
What? Oh, y'all. Yeah, no, I did introduce y'all to your vocabulary. Yeah. This is true. So, Cam, you were able to basically just sort of pull up these columns of earth, make steps for you all to traverse this flooded area without getting your feet wet and without touching the ash that is currently floating on top of the sea. Does anyone want to roll me a nature check quickly?
I mean,
you.
I'll do it, but I'm not good at it.
That's fair.
Oh no.
This
that
is also
wasn't
where I will give
good.
a disclaimer to all of my lovely viewers that currently players are not able to access the virtual tabletop for some reason, so they will be rolling their dice in person physically. I will still be rolling most of my dice in the tabletop. I see is that a 2 or a 3 from... Yeah, it's a 3 from Rose, good.
Let me do basic math. That is a 23.
Yuka got an 11.
City nature.
Rose, you've always been a druid a bit more concerned with the forest than anything else. So you just sort of looking at the waves, you're focusing more on building up these steps that you guys are traversing across. Focusing on getting you guys to this inn that was pointed out as the center of a lot of these infections, or at least a lot of the early infections, which, if you're looking at the map, is going to be the blue building underwater, currently furthest north. Not vassal. Oh no, your nameplate says vassal, Sunny. I've fallen down on my
Oh no!
my job here.
Vassal would not be so fashionable.
My identity has been stolen.
I suppose I will have to fix that very quickly in post.
Yuka's not really concerned with nudity, but I know that for the sake of the Twitch stream, our team is. So, like, when I put this on today, I was like, do I need to use a different shirt? Because this is kind of prudish for you. The high neck is, it's a winter look.
Phenomenal.
City outfit.
Her city outfit, her city
City
digs.
outfit. She knows that it's a faux pas for what it is.
You show up naked in Ironcliff, covered in blood twice, and then suddenly you're a social pariah.
So, Yuka, you are looking out. You know a little bit about waves and about wave formations, and you can tell that it's, morning. The waves are a little bit more aggressive than they were last night, but surely nothing to be worried about. You know that the tides are a thing that can impact this. C'est la vie. Fig, you've been to Baratara before, so being a studious person, you'd actually taken a bit of an interest in the tides and sort of how, especially sailors, would be able to determine what ocean weather was coming their way. Looking at these waves, they're quite aggressive. They're breaking and crashing stronger than you would expect, especially considering that these are waves that have already made it through quite a lot of houses and roads and just other material that would have broken them up sooner. You have a very, very distinct sense, Fig, that there is a storm on the horizon, and one that will arrive either today or tomorrow, and it will be a violent storm.
That's not good for flooding or contagions. Yeah,
Where can we evacuate the locals? Is this
I don't
something
know.
that can be fixed by reinforcing the barriers?
I mean, on those little mechanical things, I don't quite know, but I mean, I don't know, Cam, if you'd like to give him a hand, like getting people out, or, but yeah, this should. I mean, if we can quickly look into what building, uh, Mr. Marlowe sent us towards,
I will say as
but we
well,
should.
this conversation is happening while you're on the way to that building. This was not as
Yes.
apparent while you were next to the library.
Oh, while we're still outside, with that nature check, is there any chance that Yuka saw birds that are native and have a distribution or like a migration pattern that encompasses Baratara and the woods and the farmland around Ironcliff?
Can you just
All
roll
three?
me? Can you just roll me a d6 and tell me if it's even or odd?
Is there a seagull? That's all Yuka wants to know.
I was
Odd.
going with a seagull or corvid. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you
Odd.
did not see anything with a migratory pattern you know would have contained items.
I mean, this is a disaster zone and birds are smart.
Yeah. Are there any birds in the sky?
You actually notice that there are not any birds in the sky at this moment.
Interesting.
There's a bird on the ground, and I point towards Throgan.
Throgan just like makes a really angry.
Exactly.
Throgan has stated it multiple times that he is not a bird, and for once I'm willing to believe him.
But yeah, once we get to this building, we should probably head back pretty quick. I don't quite know how much time we have, but it doesn't look like we have a long time.
While I myself have never traveled to a place as marine as this town, I do know through my reading of something called a harbor master. Perhaps it is worth consulting with them what our action should be in regard to this oncoming storm.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the map. What part would you say is underwater? Because
So do you see the?
I can't tell that well.
So there's a kind of a light blue line that goes around that first canal. Anything to the right of that is currently underwater in some capacity.
Jeez Louise.
So the
And also just for
hexagon
clarity-
building and the new
Also,
building.
just for clarity, the bit that is underwater, I did not put any houses on because I was running a bit late on the map. This place was a residential area. So this place is packed full with little row houses that are all in some manner of flooded.
Okay. So these could be written off then, technically. But where was the thing we're going to?
It is the northern blue building inside the flooded zone.
Oh, the big, like, rectangle one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, just a short walk.
What did you say the name of this tavern was again?
Okay. I don't think I quite got the name right, because I remember the name Rock. And I mean, I think taverns have like alliteration. It's like Rocks Rest, Rocks Requiem, Rocks Requiem, Rocks something. I mean, it's a tavern. They usually have signs outside.
And as Fig says this, Rose ends up, Cam ends up taking you all around a corner. And you see that there is in fact a tavern that seems to be made out of reclaimed wood from old ships. You can
that's
see
a
like
scam.
the gorgeous filigree on the outside along with some very clearly hand-done mason work by somebody who is not super proficient in it. And you see that there is a sign out
It's not
front.
that hard.
Cam is having a conniption.
Well, sorry, I was having trouble hearing you, Rose. What did you say?
It's not that hard to make it not look shit.
Does it look shit or does it just look handmade?
It just looks
Or
handmade.
flooded.
Cam's got high standards for, like, sew work.
This is like somebody. This is Da Vinci looking at like a seventh grader's first time using paints.
It's quaint.
You are sowing a seed to a tree you do not want to fuck with, my friend.
And you see that there's a sign hanging outside on old rope, tied in very gorgeous sailor's knots. And this sign says, "The Siren Song."
No, it was alliteration.
So
Rock is in
No
the
rocks.
bird. I see.
You see.
Bird?
Yeah, you know, I think you would know what a rock is. It's basically like a massive eagle or hawk looking thing. Like massive.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like could pick up a horse and eat it. Massive.
Sounds cool.
But yeah, you see this inn, you see this tavern, and you notice that the front door, the water level currently reaches about like Cam, Yuka, your thighs. So it's not been fully flooded yet, but you do know that the inside will be wet. And Cam, you're able to bring yourselves up to the front door, or up to like the first floor above ground floor if you wish. Do you have a preference?
Well, I know this place, so Fig, you wanted to go here. Where do you want to go?
So if I'm remembering correctly, I don't have my books on me. So I think this was like one of the main locales for the inventor of some like really interesting things that I don't know if they could help us out now or if we could find like a location to where they are. But I think they helped out at the library. I don't know if they're here or if they're at a different location. But they're just really proficient adventurers. So might be
Worth
nice to see if they left
investigating.
anything behind.
Yeah, Cam's just gonna shout, "Hello, anyone here?"
Chamomile, you will hear no response as you shout. Nothing other than the waves returning your own words to you.
Either
Yuka's
they're
gonna,
asleep or they're not here.
Yuka's gonna sniff the air for bodies.
Yuka, you can give me a perception roll.
Okay. I wish I had this stuff memorized, but I don't. 13.
13. With a 13, when you reach out, you sort of go to smell the air. You're going to be overwhelmed by the amount of salt that you smell, sort of the first thing. Again, growing up in a forest, you're not entirely used to the sea yet. However, after the initial shock of smelling that and smelling sort of the dead fish and just sort of the algae around you, you're able to focus in, pinpoint a little bit more, and you are able to smell disease. You are able to smell decay here. You do not smell any bodies coming from the Siren Song. You
Is there a
do, however, smell the rot of dead bodies around you, perhaps from other buildings or perhaps from things that have washed in from the ocean or out to sea.
Is there a point where the scent is particularly concentrated inside the Siren Song?
What do you mean?
Like, so there's obviously no, dead bodies, rotting corpses, etc., inside the building itself. Is there like a spot where like the scent of rot or decay or something of that ilk inside the Siren Song is particularly present, or is this just not present at all? It's all in the periphery.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you mean. Smelling into the Siren Song, you are not able to determine if there's a specific location it is coming from. You don't know if that's because you were still stood outside or whether it's being masked by something else.
Yuka is going to knock on the front door if it is still attached.
The door is still attached. It is currently closed. you were able to knock on the front door, and you will actually notice as you do so that the door itself is unlocked. It's very sort of saloon style where, during the day or during the night, the top half would have been able to be left open so people could see inside, they could see the revelry happening. And it looks like the entire door has been left unlocked, as if it was a place still open for business.
I pray we are still permitted entry and welcome inside this place. She just walks in.
Yeah, Cam's just gonna keep making steps, like panicky because now someone's ahead of them.
So, Yuka, I have an important question for you and for Cam as I load the next map.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping into the Siren Song, if you choose to walk on the floor, you will be in the water. Is this something that you are all okay with?
So the ash has not been sticking to our clothes on the water, right?
No, it has not been.
And it's not been touching us, really?
Correct.
She's fine with it.
Okay. Then, you are all going to step inside the Siren Song. I'm going to explain this map a little bit before we get into it, because this map is going to be a tad bit confusing the first time you look at it. Basically, every individual square is going to be a different floor of the inn. You are all starting in the top left square where I have you guys currently on the map. Now, for those in chat, my players cannot currently access the virtual tabletop, so their their little tokens are not going to be moving unless they change floors to sort of represent what floor they are on. In addition to that, I will let you guys know the second floor, so if we start on the ground floor, the first floor has a balcony that lets you still see the ground floor, and you would be able to see that as you come in. So basically, you are able to witness both of these two squares that are currently on the screen. And I'm just going to move them a little bit so you can actually witness them. So, my dearest adventurers, you walk into this inn, and you can see that it was a place very heavily themed after what looks to be like a Pirate's Island or Forbidden Treasure. It's got a bit of that like tiki bar, like kitschiness to it, but very clearly done with love, done with a lot of appreciation. You see that there's like fishing nets hung on the wall that have what you think are like artistic renditions of creatures that could have been found in the deep ocean, but also looking at it, a couple of those swordfish look just a bit too real and a bit too genuine to really write them all off as fake. You see that the bar that you've entered to your left is relatively tall. So Baratara, is a town that was mostly inhabited by halflings. A lot of halflings are native to Baratara, and this bar is actually, it's on the taller side. Whoever was behind this was likely more Fig's height than anything else. And you can see that the area behind it has been built specifically for like a broader frame. In addition, as you walk in and as sort of this water splashes around you, you notice that the tables, the chairs that are still there, they seem to be not fully resistant to salt water, but faring better than most wooden things would have in this circumstance. And you are also able to see that there is a wall behind the bar with a single door leading back somewhere else. As you step inside.
Before we go any further, can I cast protection from poison on Yuka?
Yes, you may.
It's like I'd like our other current healer to maybe stay up.
There's three of us.
Yeah, but I trust Yuka more.
Oh, that's so
Where?
No. It's okay. I think I can get behind where Fig's thinking, because he's mostly seen Cam in offense.
This is true. Yeah.
Like Cam can at this point turn into stronger things, so it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would understand why he did that, but also, goddamn rude.
I love incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just turn to Yuka and be like, "Hey, can if you don't mind if I cast to protect you from poisons and stuff. You've had a bad time lately with them. Um, if you don't mind."
If it would put your mind at ease.
It it would. It would. My lady, it would. So I like it's the lightest touch that I
She
can
she
possibly.
she holds out a hand like she's about to make a Faustian deal.
Yep.
I love this. This is
Um,
incredible.
I don't
Okay,
know if
so
you want to.
DM.
I go for like either a shake or like a light tap, and then I cast.
So you are currently under the effects of protection from poison and disease. Fig, do you want to remind us what that does?
It's not my character sheet, but I can't easily bring that up. But it is.
I
Yep,
got
I
you
can
if
cast
you need help.
one creature, and then it lasts for I think about an hour.
I think it's an hour,
Um,
yes.
yeah, from what I recall, and it's there are some roles associated with it. If someone tries to poison the
Yep.
character, etc., it gets damage from it.
1 hour.
Please.
Sounds good. Yeah?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
What's the floor made out of?
Wood.
Great. I'm bringing some stones in while people are talking about not getting poisoned.
Sure thing, you brought some stones into the inn. Absolutely fair.
I want like a few stepping stones so I don't get in the water. That'd be great.
I'm also just gonna delete
They don't
clothing.
like being wet.
Don't worry about it.
I don't trust any of it.
Well, funny you should mention that you don't trust any of it. Because as you guys
I
step
shouldn't have.
As you guys step
Uh-huh.
in the inn, you, looking around at first, sort of taking in all of the surroundings, you notice that something that had been standing near the top of the steps begins to move. And it's a woman's figure, very large, very imposing, drenched. Whoever this is, it looks like they have been washed up on a shore after being shipwrecked. They are dripping, their hair is an eerie, like seaweed green, flat and clinging to their skin, clinging down their shoulders. Their clothes, or what used to be clothes, is ragged. You see that there are patches and hems that have been very carefully done in. And at some point it transitions more to looking like sheets of cloth sails, maybe even a sack or two that make up the skirt that she's wearing. And as she moves and your eyes are fully drawn towards her, you notice that her skin is a sickly, just blue that reflects the tiny amount of torchlight coming from one of the walls in a way that almost makes her appear translucent, but only briefly. She sees you. She's going to look down at you.
Yuka is going to attempt to pacify some of the mood by saying in Primordial, "Hail and well met, sister of the tide."
Oh, I need to check if this creature can understand primordial. Great. Yup. Give me 2 seconds. Fix the map again. I don't know why I think that my
Sonny,
players will... Go ahead.
Sonny, I was gonna like say like, "Hey, look, it's your sister."
My players are so mean to each other. Wow.
We're so on the wavelength today.
Good for you.
This is a Real Housewives of Garunk moment.
The creature's going to look at you, Yuka. And just sort of like it turns its head, and as it turns its head, you can see that there's scales and like a crawdad's claw that like sticks out of its skin near its jaw.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we just caught the leave part, and that's it.
Oh,
The leaf
they
part
are
is all that
speaking
was
common.
said. Don't worry about it.
Did she say that in common or in primordial?
She said that in common.
Okay.
And before she had said it, she did sort of cock her head to the side. You did not notice. You can roll me an insight, actually.
Yar.
Any of you can roll.
Can
an
I
insight.
also roll an insight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fig is rolling, but he's rolling to know if this is the actual owner of the Siren Song because he does not recall.
That would be
21.
history then.
16.
21, 16 for insight. May, what do you get for history?
What is it? 7.
7. I mean, it was a woman, so could be.
The disrespect on my girl's name.
Cam, you are going to get the same information as Yuka because you have seen this sort of thing happen before. So Yuka and Cam, you are both very, very certain that whatever creature this is was able to identify that you'd spoken to her, but was not able to identify what was said. So whether that be a language barrier or whether that be some other sort of issue that would prevent like the understanding of that language, you're not able to tell.
Brain
But
broken.
it does very, very much look like somebody who is trying to remain in a conversation without necessarily going, yo, I have no idea what just happened. Cam, you mostly see this from like some people on your mom's side of the family, especially if they've not like visited you or your father a whole lot. They might not know common.
Ah, yeah. Sure.
And as you all,
Are we leaving? I mean, she said to leave. Is this her place? I don't know.
I don't believe that this is the business owner.
Would it be tall enough to match the bar? Like, would that be a comfortable working height?
it would be. She almost looks a little bit too slight for how wide the behind the bar is.
But that could just be two people like walking behind each other. So.
Yeah, I will say, Fig might just like try to like look around this person and just investigate like if there is anything that he might be able to see on the top floor of the balcony. Would you like
Can
me
you
to
roll
roll
me
for
a
that?
perception check and arcana check?
I would love to do that.
And you're
Okay,
going to
I'll do
notice that
perception
this-
first.
Yeah.
That's just a 15. And then Arcana, that's a nat 20 plus a 4.
Wow. All right, so with a 15, you would be able to tell that there is a balcony up there. However, a lot of your viewpoint is just going to be obscured by the fact that, like, it is a flight of stairs up. And so you can really only see things that would be, like, at person height or higher. Upstairs, you are able to see that there's, like, a bar stool seating area along with a couple of other tables spread about. You would be able to see that the balcony is not underwater, predictably, and that there is a second set of stairs leading further upwards that's got like a closed door at the top of that flight of stairs. So on the map, you can see about halfway into that back balcony area.
Mhm.
If anything is flat against the ground, you are not currently able to see it. You do notice that there seems to be no easy way for you to get up to that balcony without currently going through the woman that is standing there. However, as you turn your gaze to a woman on a nat 20 Arcana, you are going to notice that she is actually translucent. Fig, very specifically, you're going to notice that she's been stationary and in place, and she's only really ever been able to move if she's not speaking. Not in the same way as the merchant, mind you, more in the sense of whoever is piloting her has to really make a choice between, am I moving the visuals or am I moving the audio? And as you watch just a little bit longer, you're able to see that her arm actually passes through the banister of the stairs, the same way the minor illusion spell would.
Okay, I don't say any of this, and I just start walking up to this person to like poke.
So you're gonna step forward?
Yeah.
I am gonna need everyone to roll initiative. I'm going to roll your own initiative for you.
Okay, so you're rolling.
I am rolling it so that we just have it in the combat. Yuka is also
Rude. Okay.
poisoned, so I need to unpoison Yuka.
Hey, what the hell? What'd you do that for?
I think she's still poisoned from the death dog.
We specifically said no poison today.
That is not what was said.
For an hour.
I want to have said that I have moved a stone underneath Fig's feet as they're moving. You say, "Shwoop," a stone.
Explain to me how you're going to do that one, please.
Well, I brought in like a ton of stones.
Yes, but Fig was stationary.
Yeah, but Fig was standing on one stone, and I had more stones.
So you're just gonna be playing hopscotch with the stones. Okay. Yes, you can have a stone under Fig's feet. I am gonna say that Fig is still in the water for the purposes of this, unless you actually spend your action to move that. Or bonus action. We'll play it here.
I tried.
I
And
know.
Yeah,
just
Fig
stepped
was
forward
so
without any
Fig
consideration.
was so interested in this translucent figure that he sort of forgot about the water.
So, Fig.
And that's the real Siren Song, baby.
Starting with you, the creature at the top of the stairs, which I will reveal is a sea hag because I'm sure you see it already.
Whoa! For real, dog?
It's for real. For real. So what's going to happen is she is going to look at you, Fig, and basically fix you with this gaze. This gaze that just, it has the whole energy and fear and power of a storm behind it. And she is going to stare you
An
down
illusion.
with
Damn.
eyes as deep as the ocean itself. And I'm going to need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. It's not terrible. What is that usually get?
Things you don't want to hear your coworker saying.
Make the wisdom
Yeah.
save.
Is it just so the roll and then what the modifier is at the top?
Yeah,
right?
just the roll with the modifiers. I don't think you you might have proficiency in wisdom saves. Just check that.
I do.
You're a cleric,
So
yeah.
it is a 12. Could be worse, could be better.
A 12, you feel yourself fixed in this gaze. And then you are going to be able to just sort of be like, no, I saw what I saw. That's magic. And you're able to just sort of brush it off, almost as if you feel the tide sort of like push past you. The rest of you basically see just this same weathering gaze come out from this hag, fixed at Fig, who's currently walking up the stairs. That's the end of her turn. So, May, what is Fig doing?
He's trying to poke it.
With your movement, you are able to move up to her. Yeah, you reach out and you poke it. So Fig, your hand goes through this creature. You're able to see that they are not physically there in any sense of the word. And just sort of, that's interesting. And you are able to definitely 100% fully confirm this is an illusion. Whatever this thing is, it's an illusion. C'est la vie.
Dudes. Lady Yuka, Cam, I don't think this is actually here. That's my bonus is me talking.
Fig,
And I walked.
I've got I Sunny K, the player, have a question for you. Are you looking at Yuka when you say that?
If I say Lady Yuka, yes.
Okay, roll insight.
Oh no.
Do I have insight?
She's like, yeah, sure,
No,
that
that's-
happens sometimes.
That's a 19.
You look upon her visage, and her countenance reflects an air of impressed opinion of you. She holds some esteem for you now.
Oh my god, I'm up from 0.
Oh, phenomenal. Oh, incredible. Okay.
Thank you, DM. Thank you, May.
Oh, pleasure is mine.
I thought it
Do
would
you
be
have
funny.
anything else you want to do with your turn? You do still have an action and a bonus action.
I might just get up past the figure so that I'm fully on the second floor.
Yeah, you're able to do that. Are you going to move out of the figure's space?
Maybe just like around the corner by like the first set of table and chairs.
Yeah, you can move by the first set of tables. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be sort of between the table and the hag, but you will be out of like a striking range, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, Rose, it is your turn. However, at the start of your turn, I am going to need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Uh, 21.
Yep. You sort of have seen Fig do this, and so you're expecting it a little bit as you just feel your, it's almost like your veins get shot through with like ice water.
That's not nice.
Just sort of because
Leave
you've
me
been through
alone.
that a couple of times before, and even then the adrenaline felt very, very different. This time it's almost like there's something that is just warning you, don't fight this, don't fight this, don't fight this.
Stay out of my head. Okay, I'm just gonna yell, stay out of my head.
Fair enough.
Have I seen like the it's an illusion, the hand poked through?
Yeah, you would have definitely seen Fig's hand go through her.
Okay, great. From what Cam thinks they remember, illusions need to be like seen from by the person casting them to move them.
Sure sounds logical.
Yeah. So I want to see, like, I didn't see anyone downstairs, I don't think. So I'm gonna assume they're upstairs.
There is no one in the room that you are currently standing in. There is the area behind the bar that is currently closed by
But
there's a closed
you
door.
couldn't see the top of the stairs from behind a closed door.
You can give me a perception check.
You know what? Sure. Oh, my perception. Oh no. Oh no. I switched tabs. Now I need to switch back. Oh no. Perception. I'm good at this. Yes. Non-natural 20.
With a non-natural 20, you are going to see that there is a small area that looks like food could be passed through. In part of the wall, so as long as a little you know those doors that have like the slit that opens and then closes that you can speak through? That is currently open on the door to the kitchen.
Okay.
And it does have you to the top of the stairs.
Okay. How high would that be, you think?
What do you mean how high
Like
would that
eye
be?
height?
Eye height. It's at eye height.
But a halfling eye height or medium person eye height?
Medium eye height. There's two, actually, sorry, I should specify. There's two of them. There's one at like small eye height and one at normal eye height. Currently, the one at normal eye height is open.
Okay, so I can move a 5 feet cube of earth, and I have some stones.
Yes.
Could I move 5 feet worth of stones? Well, it doesn't need to be 5 feet, but what I want to do is just stack some stones to block, like, the window.
I was going to say, what's your question here? Yes, you can move some stones to block the window. Is that an action or is that a bonus action?
I'm assuming it's an action. Yes, it's an action.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. So Cam, go on. Describe how you do this.
Well, I brought in a fuck ton of stones because I like throwing stones at people. No. Sounds useful. So I guess they're just gonna earthbend cell, like, be a collective bunch of rocks just moving and like stacking crudely.
As you stack these stones in a very crude pillar, but still a very nice pillar, considering you are a sculptor by trade.
Yeah.
You notice as first the bottom of the hag starts to sort of flicker and then disappear. And then more and more and more until the entire illusion vanishes, almost as if the projector has been cut off. Yeah.
I point towards the kitchen, like, the thing's coming from there. And then I'm out of stones, so I'm gonna stay put.
Fair enough. Yuka, it's the start of your turn. You don't need to make me a wisdom saving throw because the thing is no longer visible.
Whoa. Crazy.
I have a feeling an animal is being looked for.
No.
Oh.
It was going to be detect magic, but since it's been dispelled at this point, no need. Was gonna try and figure out like more details about it / where it could be remotely located. Like if someone else is puppeting this thing looking for the source, is that something that can still happen even though it's been dispelled?
So you would know enough about magic, I think, for this. Whatever Cam did not seem to have dispelled the spell completely. Rather, it prevented line of sight, which basically means that spell could be active, but it would have to be in a place that the caster can still see.
Is there a way to get to behind the bar from here?
Well, there's two ways to get behind the bar, actually. You can either jump over it, or walk around and, like, just go behind the bar.
She's... So, like to that space that is now being blocked by the stones.
You would be able to, if you jump over, it would be half your movement. If you walk around, it would be your full movement. You would need to make a check if you try and jump over the bar.
She's gonna jump, and if I fail this, it's gonna be so funny, actually.
Acrobatics. Or athletics.
Are you doing it with a flourish or not?
I don't think there's any flourishing on that roll.
She's... we're going... She got a 5. I think what happens if unless you have a mental image, I think what happens is that she is not used to the buoyancy that she gets in water, and it's up to her thigh. So she just puts way too much force and goes sailing into the wall.
No, it's funny. That's exactly what happens. Yeah, Fig, you just hear like a thunk, before you see Yuka just like slowly sliding off the wall a little bit.
Don't inhale the water.
Death glare.
Yuka, would you like to use the last half of your movement to stand up?
It was nice and fun.
Is she fully on the floor?
I mean, you're sort of flailing in the water right now. You're like sat down.
Okay, she's gonna like get to a point where she feels balanced and just take a look at what she can see behind the bar.
Yeah, no, of course. So behind the bar, what you end up seeing is there's a lot of bottles of different liquors, different juices, such like that. All of them are very clearly well cared for, even in the state that the bar is currently in. The things on the lower shelf seem to have been either removed and like tossed, or removed and put on higher shelves. You see that there is not much glassware left anymore. A lot of it appears to have been removed just with the state of things. It very much looks like this is a space that somebody still cares a lot about, just can't necessarily really do anything to fix at this point in time. You do notice that there are signs of life down here, especially when it comes to sort of the silt and the sediment that has been washed in with the waves. You see that the door in front of the door to the kitchen, the ground around that is almost completely free of sand. This door opens and closes fairly regularly, almost as if somebody still lives here.
We mean not to intrude upon your home. We are merely here to gain information that may benefit the whole, not only of Baratara, but of Garunk itself.
You're going to hear that same, it's not quite the Hags voice, but it's as if some of that audio that audio effect is still on it. Just, you shouldn't be here. Dangerous.
We are familiar with danger.
No.
And we would not come into a place so foolhardily.
It is.
Can you elaborate on what
Excuse
it
you,
is?
I would.
I respect your honesty. It may be too late already. I can speak with you, but you must not speak to others. No, you must not see others.
Keep my eyes closed.
Is gazing upon you a danger?
It is not me that's the problem. If you're here, you're already infected. And
Yeah,
Yuka,
probably.
because you were the... Does Yuka say that?
No.
And Yuka, because you were the closest, what you're going to see is through the little, like, eye hole. You are able to witness, or actually, not through the eye hole, but through the, like, bit that they would pass food through, because that's sort of where you're standing. You're going to witness a person sort of shift over so they're no longer hiding behind the door. And you see a heavy-set woman wearing what looks to be almost like fisherman's waders, covering up a shirt that is just a gorgeous, like, yellow with some green accents and, like, gorgeous silk threads in there. And you see that she bends down, and as she bends down, her dreadlocks sort of they flow down so the tips of them just barely touch the water. And it's a gorgeous old orc woman. Two tusks coming up out of her jaw, capped in little gold caps. And you can see that one of them has a small dangling sapphire from one of them, engraved with a little sword that catches the light.
I'm gonna cry.
Do we need a moment? Hey, Sunny K, do we need a moment?
No, it's fine. It's good. Fine.
No, I can talk to y'all, but it might be nice to have the door open to do that. This is kind of pat on my back.
Hail and well met. I would be happy to see you in full.
And she smiles. She gives you just like this gorgeous, full smile. You can tell that she's very tired, that she doesn't seem to have spoken to anyone in a long time.
It would be my pleasure to meet the matron of this establishment. On her terms.
Yeah. While I'm back here, you want anything to eat?
If you are offering, it would be disrespectful for me to turn down the offer of food in someone else's home.
Good.
Thing.
Can you tell your friend to get rid of the pillar? I won't be able to leave.
Chamomile!
Yeah. Oh, you don't know my full name, but
You don't know Cam's full name?
Cam!
yeah.
There is a woman back here who is experiencing inaccessibility of her own home. Please remove the stone.
Is the hag gonna stay gone?
Yeah, the hag, it was an illusion, it wasn't real.
Yeah, we
He
knew
was
that
very
much.
impressive at that.
And the tower just.
I would apologize on behalf of their disrespect, but Chamomile is their own person, and they should be able to do that. They
No,
don't think I know their full name.
you don't know the one. It's
I don't
alright. I
know.
mean, I did kind of attack, like, I get it. I understand how this whole thing works. My wife was an adventurer. And you're gonna see that this orc woman, the door swings open and you see that it's being pushed, like, by the back of her shoulder as she comes out carrying, like, this massive tray. And it's filled with, like, dried fish. There's some sort of bread product on there. Tiny little, like, peppercorns, cherry tomatoes, a couple of very hard cheeses, along with what looks to be like a chutney or like a vegetable dip of some sort. That as you smell it, Cam, you and Fig would be the only two that this is familiar to. Fig, you recognize this immediately as a spice blend, or at least the type of spices that are very heavily used in, my mind is blanking, in Captain cuisine. Cam, you would recognize this as something that it's sort of similar, but not exactly the same as stuff from your mom's home. Almost as if your mom was trying to mimic this with the spices that were native to where she grew up. Or like the people, you know. And
It smells
Wash
delicious.
has, this half-orc just sort of put this massive tray down on, actually she wouldn't put it down. She gestured you both up to the second floor. And then follow with that and sort of 4 big beer stains full of what looks to be fresh water. Following you all up to the second floor and putting that down on one of the dry tables.
Yeah, Cam's just gonna keep like skipping on like the few stones that are still like near the door to the. I'm not touching the water. Fuck that.
That makes sense. That fully makes sense. You would notice.
Oh, the other ones did, but why?
You would notice Fig and Yuka, because you two were in the water. This is the first time you've been in the water. The ash that floats on top of the water, it doesn't necessarily stick to your clothing like it is trying to. It does stick to your clothing in the sense of it was a powder that is now not on water, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You notice that with this woman, as she steps out of the water, there is no ash left on her. It's almost as if it's like water off a duck's feathers. It just seems to push itself away from her as she steps out. The water itself does remain on her clothing, but the ash is completely gone. Well, please sit, eat. I can imagine it's been a while since you've eaten. Yeah. So
We were granted some respite by the library staff.
Oh, good. You were there. Did you see Taffeta at all? Out of curiosity.
We heard the name many a time, but we have yet to make it her acquaintance.
I see. Please don't see her now. That's mean. Sorry. Yes, we have a lot to catch up on. Please eat, and we will continue this after a break, because I can imagine that this conversation is going to take a while. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take about a 10 to 15 minute break. We should be back here no later than 7:30 Amsterdam time, 12:30 Central Time.
30.
12:30 Central Time. Great. Yeah, we hope to see you after the break, and we hope that you've been enjoying so far. Also, congratulations to my players. You will have leveled up now. Yay, level 4 be upon ye.
I can become fish. Woo!
Woo! We love fish. All right. So, we will catch you all on a break, or in a minute. Please enjoy the music during the break. I hope it is during the break, because it was actually made by Sunny K. Everyone say hi. Everyone congratulate. I'm gonna bully my player by being proud of the thing they made. All right. See you all after a break. Bye-bye. back. I moved my mic a little bit to hopefully help with the echo that I know that we were having. It does mean that I feel like I am in a spaceship cockpit now, which is a bit funny.
Welcome to the sound booth.
Welcome to the sound booth. This is an ASMR stream now. This is not an ASMR stream.
Oh no!
Most decidedly not an ASMR stream.
Anyways, we are back where we last left off. Our players had fought Asterisk, a sea hag.
Oh, we leveled up. I forgot to do that.
They will level up after the session. This is correct. I'm not going to make them level up
Oh,
in the 15-minute
Okay,
break.
great.
Did you already level up?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah, you will level up after the session just because I don't want to make you level up in like 15 minutes. And we will have this lovely little conversation with a orc lady you just found in this flooded tavern named the Siren Song. So, this lady has sat down at one of the chairs at a big round table where she's recently put I guess the best word would be a charcuterie board filled with a lot of different like dried and cured meats, fish, bread, some fresh vegetables. There's a chutney, a hummus, some other things like that in the center of the table as well. A fig, you notice that there's a flatbread present as well that you've only really ever seen made in Captain. Which means this lady likely makes them herself as well. So, I guess to be polite, I'm sorry for trying to scare you all off. Everyone else who's come here has always gotten infected, so I figured it was best just to not let people stay here that long. My name is Rock. Nice to meet you.
This is your home. You have the right to dispel and welcome in anyone you please. And if they are not respectful enough to mind your decision, your choice is your own.
God, Fig.
Young man,
Fig.
all right.
Yes.
Oh!
Is there? Did I hurt you? I'm sorry. Do I need to get you something or?
No. This is just really cool. You're you said you're Rock. I'm Fig, but you're Rock.
Yeah.
Wife of
okay.
one Lease.
Yeah, that's my wife's name. Were you here before it flooded?
I've I have. Sorry. Funny for me. I have been in Baratara before, but I did not get the chance to be in your lovely establishment. It's I am I am a scholar of the past Dragon War and the War of the Elves. So
Right, of
It's-
course. In
I mean, you don't have to talk about it. That's totally up to you. That's
wait,
my field of
you're not
study.
with Eliza?
It-
Oh, God, you're not with Eliza.
oh.
Okay. I thought I was gonna have a problem there for a second.
I'm sorry. I'm not quite certain who that is.
Oh, don't even worry about it. She's from one of the Hags universities. She is not an archaeologist, but a genealogist. She's just been in here every day before we were before it flooded. She always tried to bother me and my wife and my children. She tried to drag my children into it. We kept telling her if she wanted to have a conversation, it was completely fine, but she needed to wait until we weren't busy. I can't sit down and have an interview with you when I am trying to serve 20 patrons at the same time and my wife is trying to break up a bar fight. Sorry.
No, it's totally, yeah, that's very much unpleasant and definitely not how any interview should ever be approached.
I figured not. She kept talking about some character. She just needed some character, some player. She just words. She just kept talking about some student. She just really needed to show up and like one up, and I have no idea. It was some like Jeff. Anyways,
Yeah. I don't know if I've come across him either.
Goodness, that sounds like quite a character.
Did you know her last name at all?
Eliza.
You don't have to come over if you don't need to.
I don't remember if it was her last name or if it was like her mother's name, but Arsil?
Yeah, I might have
Sunny K, do you
seen
have
her
something you want to say to me?
in passing.
Is she perhaps an elf who spends quite a lot of time in a dungeon with a dwarf and a human man? And a half-one?
And a halfling and a Khajiit, yeah.
Looking for delicious food?
Yeah. Laugh it up.
No.
It's canon.
Sorry, I had to get one in. For the viewers, DM has a long and storied history of coming up with names or using generators for names that have made me laugh. And because we are siblings, I get to destroy him about it.
This is true. She does get to destroy me about it.
Now, in fairness, he's been destroying me this entire session.
Look, if you're not careful, I am going to throw another rope in here.
I am trying so hard not to lose it on camera.
Anyways, no, it's completely fine. I'd be more than willing to talk about that if you need, but look, maybe infection first.
There's something else going on.
Later? Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. No worries. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of time, considering you guys can't really leave anymore. So.
Are you trapped inside this place?
Well, not trapped so much as staying here willingly.
You are quarantining?
Yes.
Please explain the
that's-
nature of your infection. I think that would be helpful for us to understand. And I ask this not because I care to be invasive, as I know that is a sore subject, but simply because if it impacts us and the public at large, we have a right to know.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, almost a month now, I think it was, a few of our regulars fell ill. And at first we didn't think much of it. Colds, flus, that sort of thing does go around very regularly, and with a business like ours, it tends to spread very quickly around here. Packed rooms, people sharing glasses, such like that. My wife particularly didn't necessarily fear anything of it, nor did any of our children. We just sort of took the precautions we knew we needed to take to save not our two older kids. Ashes and Rye, they ended up going somewhere. I actually think they might have sailed out to a small island that my wife set up a while back. Taffeta was at university, so no real issue there. She had actually signed up for a short, a guest teacher spot. She was going to, work with some Buzzwings professionals on the best ways to marry technology and arcane sciences, which was quite interesting. She's the one who makes those fireflies. They're quite impressive.
Hey, pretty.
Those are really nice.
Yeah, she's a genius. She always has been. She's been a bit of a loose cannon. Oh, you do not want to see the art project she got up to when we first adopted her. So it was really just me and my wife, and after a while we noticed that a bunch of our regulars were falling ill, and the first few to, difficult, whatever it was, they started forgetting things. It wasn't very obvious at first. Things just like, one of our regulars asking what the daily special was. And our daily specials never change. It's been that way for, 150 years now? So we thought maybe it had just been, a long week, he had forgotten what day it was, normal things, but then he asked again the next day, and the next day, and then he forgot that he hates the way we cook courgettes. And so he ordered a courgette dish and then got upset about it. And it turns out we phoned his family, and it turns out that he'd been forgetting more things than just his dinner order. He stopped knowing the way home. His wife had to go and pick him up after his construction shifts, and it was very similar for a few of our regulars. For whatever reason, they had started forgetting things about their life. And I have to stress, these were young folks. They were, maybe 40, 50, but for halfling, that's nothing. We had one orc about 17. He ended up forgetting that he was engaged.
It's
He
not
laughed,
funny.
but it wasn't great when, it wasn't great when, you have a grieving, well, essentially a widow, but, he's still alive. It started growing, and we, it got to be a public health crisis, and we're working with the Navy a lot on control and disease spread, and then it sort of got out of their hands, and so it moved over to that new doctor. What's his name? Charles Marlowe, I think it was.
Yes,
The Atlantic guy. Very
yes, we met
strange
him at the
accent.
library.
Yes, wonderful. And for, lack of more explanation, we thought that it was something in our food supply, or possibly a pest that had happened, and so our, the Siren Song got quarantined. Completely fair, completely understandable. We had the, savings to keep, my wife and I afloat while we needed to. But the first team of investigators that were sent out, that spoke with me and spoke with my wife, they fell ill the next day. When the second set came, and by this point I wasn't living here anymore, I was in a rented room in a different inn. People in that inn began to fall ill, and the second investigator team that spoke with me also fell ill the next day. At this point, my wife, she got this idea in her head that it had to be the doing of a very specific man who we hadn't seen for, what has it been now, 347 years? 46 years? It's been a while. It was back during our
Got a
wedding.
great memory.
And went off
During your wedding, you say?
Yes. But went off to see if he had something to do with it, and if so, I highly doubt that being is still alive. She hasn't returned yet, so I also don't know where she's gone off to. But in the meantime, since as far as myself and as far as the investigator teams could, Dr. Monroe could figure out for everything, I seem to be a carrier of whatever this is. So I've been quarantining here. They've been very kindly making sure I get shipments of food. And books on occasion, which is also quite enjoyable. And just sort of waiting, which is also why you're all going to be stuck here now. If you visited, there's, well, with almost certainty you're infected, and with the way this thing spreads, we can't allow anyone else who is infected to return, especially not to the library, where currently they have very strict quarantining procedures as well.
Yes. Yes, we understand.
Good.
Good. I'm terribly sorry.
We came to investigate, and investigate we did.
Just one thing I'd like to make sure I have correct is that you first noticed this in a few of your regulars, and it happened gradually, and then when the investigators came, it happened almost like the next day.
Yes, so the investigators developed the cough the next day. The first symptom we've been able to identify. It's been, like I said, a few weeks now, and so some investigators from that first set have now started developing the memory loss as well. But it was not overnight by any meaning of the phrase. It was more because we knew what to look for. We could see it quicker.
Understood.
So,
Can everyone tell me their passive perception before we continue?
12, I think.
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
It might not.
It's my thing. I notice shit. I don't know what's happening, but I do notice it.
That's fair.
It's cut off on my screen pick of my character sheet,
I'm
but
so sorry.
my
It's just 10 plus
wisdom-
whiz, right?
It's 10 plus whiz. Well, it's 10 plus any proficiency bonus you have on perception as well.
Oh.
Yeah. On perception? No. Yeah, I think that's just a straight 10 then, because I don't have anything added
Okay.
in wisdom.
Yuka? Still
No.
12?
Still 12.
Still 12. Then Cam, you were the only person to see this. You are going to see, for the first time, the end point of one of these black, vines. So as you look around, as you begin talking about this infection, you start scanning the room because you know, at least based on what Vassal told you, what you might encounter. And you see that there is again, it's this, the best way you could describe it is a cable almost made out of some rubbery material. About as thick around as your wrist. You watch as it snakes across the floor through one of the gaps in the balcony. And for the first time, you actually see one of these cables having a set end point. You notice that this cable appears to snake up towards Rock's leg. And it ends on her right, the outside of her left foot, just sort of merged in with her being.
Valentine, quick question. Turn on your location, please.
What do you mean turn on my location?
I just want to talk.
About what?
I just want to talk.
I thought you liked Typhoid Mary. I thought you enjoyed the story of Typhoid Mary.
I just want to talk.
I'm in danger, chat.
An ocean won't save you.
I need to start running now, actually.
You think I won't swim the Atlantic to find and noogie your ass?
I'm closer. You can make me do it.
Oh, no. This is personal.
Oh, I figured. But the option stands.
I appreciate it, Rose. I appreciate it. You think moving overseas will prevent you from facing consequences? Okay, this is Jesus.
Anyways,
Okay. So I've not been paying attention to most of this conversation because Cam just does not listen.
love Kim.
Do they still seem to be talking about useful things, or is there like a lull in the conversation?
No, currently they're talking about useful things. I think they just finished up the conversation about infections.
Honestly,
so
if
they're-
Cam's mind is wandering, it makes sense that they're the one who spotted the cable.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm playing it. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the same thing as I did with like the doctor, what's his name, in the library. Like,
Marlo?
Marlo, yeah.
yeah, like weird question, but are you
yeah.
like magically inclined?
Yes, I am magically inclined. Why?
Can you like magically see things?
Cam, are you asking if she is true sight or something
No,
similar to it?
you know the whole thing with like the black robes that the black goo came out of.
The
Yeah.
what, sir?
Mhm.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we can share our side of the story.
yes,
Please,
Okay.
that would be helpful.
you're the nerd. You can probably can explain this better.
Hold
So
on, guys. Hold on,
yes,
guys. Hold on.
this
Guys. I think my OBS is crashing. You just need to give me a minute.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm so
No, the
sorry.
stream.
Just give me a quick second. I think stream is crashing.
Oh no, the last thing that Chad heard was me threatening to kill my brother.
And then the stream died.
Oh no, the FCC is coming for me.
It's telling me it's live,
Coming for you.
and I'm just gonna.
Give me a second. I'm just gonna check that we're like still okay.
Yeah, I can see my own hand going up, which I did after I said I'm just gonna. So
Great. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
it does.
I'm
It
gonna
does say
suck
that if it's buffering, I might need to lower the resolution so the connection isn't perfect. But it should be
That's
there.
a normal Twitch thing. Don't worry about it. That's a normal Twitch stream. Twitch thing.
I don't know. I don't
I'm-
Twitch.
I'm getting weird
Oh, I Twitch
pop-ups on
plenty,
my
but
own
not on-
OBS, and then it started not responding. Good. I'm glad we're still live. Okay, continuing. You were gonna tell Rock
Okay,
about
so
your side of the story.
nerds, please explain because I
Nerds.
don't get it.
So if DM doesn't mind, I won't like rehash the entire thing in character.
Completely fair. I ask for two things.
Yes.
I ask, is there anything you are explicitly not telling her? And I ask, is there anything you want her to respond to?
I think we
Um,
might want to like leave the body swapperoo out of it for now, because
not
that's gonna
the
be a whole
tragedian.
different story.
We're not talking about the tragedy. We're not talking about Jeremiah.
Poor Jeremiah.
But the fact that we're investigating this illness, we've seen these cables and goo,
No one else seems to see them. It's annoying.
and they happen to be here, and then that I suppose Cam would say that is here.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
I've
anything
spotted a different one. Yeah.
quite anything else, either Sunny or Rose.
Well, if I forgot the half-orc's name, but if they like seem to believe me or Fig, I'm gonna ask them to like detect magic-y, look at like where their foot is and have them discover themselves that they're like attached to it, because I don't want to say there's this thing you can't see, also it's attached to you.
That is
That
fair.
seems a bit much, maybe.
That is fair. So I will tell you that first of all, her name is Rock. Second of all, she's actually a full orc, not a half orc.
Oh, I thought I heard half-orc. Okay,
No, she's
fair.
a full orc. She's my lovely rock and roll child. Rock and roll grandma now. And yeah, she'll look down and you'll see ever so slightly that she sort of whistles a small tune and then also like taps her fingers just in the air in a very specific way, almost as if she's playing a lute. Before you watch
It's
as
a
her
cool means of
eyes-
casting magic.
before her eyes flash yellow a little bit, and you notice as she looks down, she goes, "Oh, that's. Oh, they're back. Oh, why is it on me? I don't want that on me.
It's back?
So you've seen this before.
The cables were hanging around a lot back when my wife was still here. They sort of vanished for a while. Oh, and you'll watch as she basically reaches down and just sort of like wraps her hand around it. You see that her fingers are able to touch around the girth of this cable, and just
And
sort
she
of like
doesn't get swooshed.
yanks it. She does not get swooshed, and just sort of like yanks it out of her foot.
Does anything happen to like the end of it?
I feel like I flinch out of the way if there was like a spray of goo, but I don't know if there is or not.
You will notice that there is not a spray of goo at first. What ends up happening is as she yanks it out of her foot, rather than coming out like a plug or like a break, what ends up happening is it's pulled away almost as if it's like tar or like molasses that was holding it to her foot. And it's that goo, it's that same black goo, and you see it, and almost as it goes to sort of spread or like gloop off, because it's very viscous and heavy, instead what you see is a shimmery purple magic that almost caps where it came off of her foot, caps where the open end of that cable is, and just you watch as basically that magic that starts as like a cylinder pulls apart and then just like vanishes off her foot and remains on the cable before
So the cable now
like,
just has an end.
before the cable then like hardens over with that same material.
But it still has like a solid end.
You notice that it does, and as soon as that magic dissipates, the cable itself begins to like ash and crumble from that end. And it will continue ashing the entire length that you see.
Uh-huh. Can I like collect some of the ash? Because I've got like jars and
You've
shit.
seen this purple before.
I want some of the ash in a jar, not on me, please.
Yeah, you can absolutely scrape some of the ash into a jar. Easily done.
Great, more stuff for Dr. Dude.
I'm sorry. How did you do that?
Do what?
That it sort of ashed away. Any other time we've encountered it, it sort of got everywhere.
I
Or
don't know. I mean, I think I know what you mean because I have tried to stab them a couple of times and they've.
Yeah.
I don't entirely know. That was
They
the
don't
first
like being
time
stabbed. I don't that much.
That's the first time I've ripped one off of me.
Lady Rock,
Yes.
I have an inquiry for you, and it may be a touch invasive.
Yeah.
It pertains to your wife. You say that all who have come in contact with you, your bar, have become infected.
Yes.
How is it that she is not?
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen her for a while now, a few weeks.
Do you believe that it is possible she could also be a carrier for this illness?
I don't know.
Have you seen these strange cables on only yourself, on her? Are those three your only children?
We do have a fourth child, or had a fourth child. His family lives out of town. So I can only hope that they're safe right now in Hawkshire. She didn't show any symptoms before she left.
Well, neither seem you to do.
And you're gonna see that this woman starts to tear up in front of you, and you see that she just takes like this big shuddering breath.
We're trying to get to the bottom of this.
I know.
Okay.
If she's begun to forget, she wouldn't know to come back here. She lived on the sea for so long before we met.
Yuka will hold out her hand.
Oh my god, character development.
This green-skinned hand will reach out to you, and you will feel that there are calluses on its fingertips. There are calluses on its like on the palm of its hand, still very soft, Yuka, much softer than what you would expect, but not the hand of a noble woman by any means. And she'll just grip, and as she grips your hand, Yuka, you notice that she has a fair bit more strength than you would have expected. Yuka, can you roll me an Arcana check?
Yeah. Okay, we're cooking with gas here. 17.
Yuka, you are going to notice that when she reached her hand out to you, it was clean. And yet, when you touch her hand, you get just the barest, flash in your mind somewhere. Like, not quite a vision, but more like a deja vu moment. And you remember that table at the edge of the woods after you had been bitten by the death dog.
When you have caught your breath, I have another question for you.
And,
I might
she'll sort of
push over one of the mugs of water that
you watch as she picks up part of her sari that she's wearing and wipes her eye ever so slightly, grabs the mug, gives you a very grateful nod, Fig. And then
Question 2. It's not necessarily pertaining to the story, but just Cam wanting to do things. Cam's not good at consoling people. Is there a painting or a portrait of the family somewhere?
you would notice that there is not a portrait of the entire family out. There is, however, a single painting of two women. One of them is what looks to be this woman, Rock. However, much, much, much younger. She looks to be in what for a human would be her early 20s. Dressed in this gorgeous red. I forget the name of it, but this gorgeous red outfit, veil, jewelry, all adorning her face, her tusks, her hands, along with a red-headed gnome, freckled like stars, dressed in what is very, very clearly a naval officer's formal uniform.
I think Cam's paid enough attention to the conversation to reasonably assume that that's the wife they've been talking about.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, awesome. I'm just gonna grab some clay that I will be carrying on me because I'm a sculptor and just start trying to sculpt this drawing, sculpted in a bit more 3D, like one of those 3D felted cat faces, but then people.
You do notice one thing as you start to sculpt this woman, Cam, and it's that you're having to do her nose over and over and over and over and over. It never comes out right, and you have no idea why.
And it's annoying the hell out of me.
You could, Sunny K, you got cut off. Your insult to me did not come across the ocean.
Here's one for free.
Yep.
Cat on stream. It's cat on stream time.
Cat on stream.
This is
Cat
Jet.
on stream.
Say hi to Jet, everybody.
Hi, Jet.
Jetty, what are you doing? This is Jet. Hi, Jet.
Hi, Jet. We love you, Jet.
Jet looks
Lulu's
confused.
also here. They're not supposed to be in the room because they're the centers of attention all the time. Jet and Lulu are fighting right now, so you might hear hissing. So I'm going to be mostly muted unless I'm speaking, I think.
Anyways, also hello, Tommy. So, we return to our game. You were sculpting this gnome woman.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to the awkward emotional moment.
That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah. Yeah, you had a question, Lady Yuka?
I completely forgot we haven't actually introduced ourselves to Rock.
I bet we would have.
You had a question.
That's
ma'am?
on you two.
I haven't really been talking or listening, to be honest.
If this entire time she's been like giving the like, and you had a question, miss?
Miss,
You know,
I think I caught
Cam's
your
2
name.
tables over, trying to not have to deal with this.
Chat, please.
Yippee.
I am called Yuka. I am the steward of the Lord Bestial and the Lady Verdant, and I am a bit far away from home. But it is for a good cause.
Fair. Oh, of course. Yeah, but you had a
Do you-
question, Yuka.
You mentioned a man that you met during your wedding, or at the very least have not seen since your wedding.
Yes.
Do you recall this man's features, or his name, his trade?
His trade was I guess merchant is the closest thing that you could consider.
Fucking you.
His name I was never given. My wife only ever referred to him as he, though I presume that was more of a derogatory title than his name. As for appearance, when he appeared at our wedding, he was wearing a white gown, which was certainly a choice, and was, I would expect, under some sort of spell to disguise his identity, as his face was not visible. It was covered in some sort of, I guess the best way I could describe it is a static of sort. Just, I presume, he didn't want to have his behavior tied to his person, which, yeah, maybe then you shouldn't do the behavior. I mean, throwing a vial of an unknown fluid at a wife at her wedding is certainly a choice.
He doused you with a potion of some sort.
Yes. It turns out that potion was a potion to tie my lifespan to that of my wife, so that we could live together, and not have to, well, she wouldn't have to, experience the pain of losing me. But
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention.
yeah.
Your, yeah.
350 years is a lot for an orc. But no, that is something that you could have also just put in in the gifts and put a note with it. I don't understand why he did that. I'm not going to pretend to.
I mean not to alarm you, only to provide you with as much information as we have. I believe we have made contact either with this man or a man of a very similar sort, and he may have afflicted us with the same condition you now have. I need also to know, have you been visited by a spirit, another faceless spirit, or a creature that has given you a role?
No? You speak like this is a recent thing. The last faceless pig I met was 100 or so years ago. A lovely changeling woman. She was on a bit of a vacation. But no role or anything like that.
Yeah, that's quite all right. We're wondering if they had connection, but if you have not met them, then it's all right.
Is it something I should look out for? Who have you met?
I was not present, but these two can give the account for the creature that introduced itself to them by name of Tragedian.
Yeah, it seems to like what they called players, and seem to like, I suppose, puppeting people around. It gave us assurances that a companion of ours would be returned, but we have not been able to confirm that or not.
I see. Well, I've not met anyone matching that description. I do hope your companion is found, for what it's worth. But yes, if what you say is correct, then it is. I would be careful. I don't truly know if you are under the same curse that I am, but if so, that is dangerous to those you care for, those you care about.
And the other point that I'd like to make to you just about safety is as we were approaching your establishment, I do give you some warnings about, I believe, a rather nasty storm that seems to be approaching. I don't know if with the current flooding, if your your establishment is able to be protected from it, or if you and anybody else that is currently still living in this area needs to be evacuated.
As far as I'm aware, I'm the only person still living here. The Navy was very good about evacuating people when the flooding first started. It's quite silly, really. One of the dikes burst. With everyone focused on the infection, it just sort of stuck up on everyone, and well, that's I suppose we know now why we always have the redundancies.
Would you happen to know where the dike burst exactly? It's made of like earthenware and stone, yes?
Oh, useful.
Yeah, it is.
It's very crude, but
I think it was the
Second to the north? If you give me a moment, I'm sure I can point it out on a map to you all.
Did Cam say it's very crude, but
yes, yeah, they did. Meanwhile, Cam's just considered like the nose is not gonna be perfect. Sure, whatever, good enough.
So, if you travel down towards the old shipyard, the northernmost shipyard, there should be I believe the way they described it is they had a scale model of a reef that was a little bit further out into the ocean. And what they ended up doing was the ocean itself was sort of where they ended up implementing a few arcane seals, for lack of a better word, that would allow them to then control the water level more adequately past the seals near the city. That may be the easiest place to go if you wanted to fix it with the control scheme. However, if you wanted to try and fix something else, it would likely be a boat trip out, which, if a storm is coming in, like you say, may not be the best decision, as I don't know how quickly you can sail here and back.
question for the DM.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're probably going to need to talk to people to fix many problems that we have or to gain more information.
Sure are.
Is there some kind of check or some kind of like means of figuring out we could make to see if we will infect people the same way Rock believes she is infecting people?
I'm sure there is, but you're going to need to tell me what that check is.
Okay. I think due to the nature of this is like a magical plot, or at least a conflict put on by the theatrical powers that be, I'm gonna try Arcana.
Okay. And
Is that
tell
I
me,
would
kosher
also-
in DM land?
I want you to tell me, Yuka, what specifically you are looking for to try and determine that.
I think she's trying to feel like Yuka would try to figure things out in familiar terms. So she's trying to feel the spiritual energy. She's trying to feel the actual nature of the magic that is surrounding Rock and has been surrounding them, or is trying to like see any kind of like glow or preventable something, or like basically like water repellent that they have that Rock doesn't have, and vice versa, to like see what the difference is between Rock's condition and our condition.
Sure, absolutely. Go on ahead.
Question about that. Did the ash also fall off Yuka and Fig in the way it did?
She gets a 9. It's pretty cringe, but yeah.
Yuka, you begin to feel the spiritual energy. You begin to try and source this curse in the rock. And you actually end up a little bit vexed by this. Because you would consider yourself as a witch of the woods fairly adept in hexes, curses, malefic magic like that. I mean, you've used your fair bit on loggers, on poachers, on, men you got just
Vassal.
too close. Vassal. The thing that shocks you about this woman in front of you is Rock is not under the effects of any curse. Really, truly, there are two magical effects active on her at this moment. The first is something that, with your vibe check, can only be determined as a relatively easy spell, likely something self-cast. And the second one being some lower, more persistent magic. It's been there for a long time. It sort of burns in the background of her physiology. And it just sort of seems to subsist and consist and keep her as she is.
Like, does she just digitation the ash off? Anyway.
They were kissing. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Oh, now they're hissing. Never mind.
Never mind, we're back to fighting.
I love you. I hate you. Oh, Rock. What did they do? What did he do to you?
He made her live, functionally forever.
As long as, well, it's some small solace that her wife is still alive, I guess.
Her wife is, in fact, still alive. We're not burying the gays here.
But we are torturing them for our amusement.
Counter argument. Rock would never be aware that her wife died because she'd also be dead.
Well, yeah.
Oh no! That'll be a funny meetup in the astral plane. What did you do? Oh, I didn't do anything. What are you talking about?
You certainly didn't hit a sword strike.
No! Okay.
Does anyone else want to roll with it?
Want to check my brain to see how long it would take me to fix a dike, because that's a large surface, but it doesn't need to be pretty.
You can roll me. Do you have anything for your craft? I don't think you do.
I have like basic tools, I think.
Roll me a check with your tools. You can use wisdom and your proficiency bonus.
Oh, then I don't need to check what it is. 23.
So if you go to the basically the control panel, you can fix it relatively quickly. Usually, it's not going to really be bigger than like your torso, so you'd be able to fix it almost instantaneously. However, you would also need a caster with you to ensure that the changes you made on the small model also affect the dike, like out in the water, or not out in the water, the actual like magic outside. If you want to actually go to the physical location where it is, where the dike is, you could do so. It would likely take you a few hours to just go through all of it to make sure there's no like structural flaws, there's no cracks or anything. And the bigger issue is in both plans. If you fix the dike, you are also going to need to remove the water that is already flooded.
But like that water you could pump out over time. It's not it needs to be gone instantly type situation.
Yep, correct.
So the two are still magically connected then. The small one and the biggie one.
You would expect them to be. If you want to make sure that it works, you would need to have some sort of arcane caster with you.
Okay.
Hey, this is May being like, how magically inclined is Rogan currently?
Give me a
Rogan is
second to
artificer.
check that.
That's arcane, right? Huh?
I'm checking. Give me a second.
It's intelligence based, so they're like a nerd in a
It is until, you know what? I would give it to you. If Feather is in session, Rogan would count.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. So Cam's just gonna grab like a sheet of paper and just scribble ideas and then cross them off like, no, I need someone arcane for that. Fuck. Because Rogan is much more roguelike than arcane.
Fair. No, yeah. If Feather is in session, I would let Rogan count for the purposes of somebody to help you.
Hey, make that note.
Anyways.
And going to the big ones wouldn't need an arcane caster,
Correct.
but it would take significantly longer.
Correct.
Okay. Love that.
Hey audience, can we say skill challenge?
Yep.
He never rests. Award-winning DM over here, but also for a reason.
Why do I feel like my bloodline is being cursed?
It's already cursed, baby brother.
I'm gonna look up what my identify spell does again.
In the meantime,
Identify.
you have a second question.
Okay, so people are thinking. So while Yuka is thinking, I'm just gonna like shove the bit of like a 3D paint portrait towards her and then just not say anything and go make something else.
Okay, first of all, out of curiosity, what else are you going to make?
I'm gonna assume I've seen like a dog on the farm or something. I'm just gonna practice some animal anatomy.
Absolutely, you can go practice some animal anatomy.
Do Rock and Lee still have any dogs?
Rock, you're gonna see her just like look over at this like little sculpture that's been given to her, just like, oh, and then just like very, very gingerly like runs one thumb like over the brow of this bust that you've made. Just like very gingerly like picks it up. And like tries to like look over at you to thank you, and you're just like turned away.
I'm just like the awkward autistic kid that gives you a gift and wants to see what's happening, but also doesn't want to be looked at that much.
Thank you, dear. That's really sweet.
I hope the nose is okay. You didn't go right.
It's the most accurate she's ever gotten.
Yeah, nope. Done with the conversation.
You watch as the bus is like placed on one of the higher shelves that like very clearly has like bar safe decorations. Yes, Yuka? Is there something else?
It is private.
Do we need to leave or?
She makes direct eye contact with Fig and with Cam.
Cam's not happy about the eye contact, but Cam's happily leaving downstairs.
Did you not want any information on the dragons, or is that done?
There will be time enough if you.
I can write you a letter. And then
Certainly.
I walk away with Cam.
You know where I live, so yeah.
Fair.
You and your wife, you have a life together and children together.
Yes.
Your wife lives a very different life than you do. From your retelling of her absence, it sounds as though this is something you are quite used to, as she is an adventurer and has commitments not only to you, but to her duty and to the sea.
That is very true.
How do you make it work?
How do you mean?
This is not something I share eagerly, nor very freely. When I was a babe, I was abandoned at the wood. It was a different time. The harvest was not plentiful, and the families that lived closest to the wood, before they abandoned their farms completely, they believed in old gods, and that nature could be appeased with a sacrifice. Rather than eating me, the gods made me their steward.
Big Cam?
You are both going to hear this.
I'm afraid you
Cam-
just
Are
a
we just,
subtle
like-
spell, Yuka.
Are we just like at the bottom of the stairs, not touching the water?
No,
Or,
they're,
like,
they're
sitting on
stepping
the step?
stones. I figured we're sitting on like the bar or something. Also, I made dice, so we're gonna quietly roll some dice and just see what happens.
We're having a nice game of dragon dice downstairs, alright?
Mhm.
I mean, I can make them.
Anyways, continue, Yuka.
Sorry, give me a second. My least favorite person emailed me.
Tell them that you're busy.
It's a Sunday. I'm not working. The office is closed on Sunday.
Don't tell them you're busy. Anyways.
My responsibility and my loyalty will always be first and foremost to those who could have destroyed me and made me part of the cycle of life and death before my time. And they chose not to. Lately, there is someone who makes me question what my priorities are. And I have chosen not to pursue that because I don't know how I would go about such a thing. At my core, I am a beast. I am a forest thing.
Looking at
something...
Fake like, you? Question mark? Sorry.
But this... And she has a child. And I don't know how to go about this. How did you and your wife do it?
Oh, my condolences. Lisa died. It was not easy. There were years during which we didn't get to see each other very much. There were years she lived in jail, Paris. And we would have to have conversations over the fence. Her in her cell, me on the other side, singing nothings and everythings. We made it work for a different reason than you may have to, if you wish it to. For us, it worked because to each other we were the choice we made first. I chose to stand by her, help her when I could, whether that was waiting for me or having the house clean for when she came home. Nothing against my darling wife, but she tended to rack up more pills than she brought home. Such is the life of an adventurer that was notoriously bad at combat. She, for what it's worth, always came home. And she would bring trinkets and things she would do whenever she came back. And she would want to jump into my arms and kiss me. Amongst everything, we made it work because we chose each other first. It wasn't necessarily that we were fighting against our nature. Me of wanting to be comfortable and stable, stationary, and her longing for the sea, being more stable out on the waves than she was on land. Even when we had kids, it was always like she had places she needed to be and I had places I wanted to be. I would never have been comfortable on a boat with her. She also wasn't fully comfortable on land either. We made it work because we could find the middle ground and we could compromise and both work. If our love had been weaker, or if one of our inclinations had been stronger, I don't think it would have. From what I hear from you, Yuka, you're not ready to choose your love yet. I don't blame you. I don't fault you for it. It is a powerful choice to make. It's one that can be terrifying if not ready. If your first duty is to your gods, and if that is something that your love, your child, cannot,
not meld into, but live alongside. It may never work. I say this not to dissuade you, not to discourage you. Simply say this to be honest. Lise and me would never have worked if I was not willing to accept
She loved the sea.
I do wish you the best of luck. Determining this is not something I can help you with.
You've helped me more than you know. And I thank you. We will look for her too.
I have a question
for my players. Did any of you eat a single bowl on the table empty?
Like clean plate club?
Like
Is that what you're
clean
asking?
plate club?
I think Yuka ate a single fish right off the board.
Fair enough.
It's the I snuck some of the flatbreads, but like I probably would have been like courtesy enough to be like at least left one.
Okay.
Confused about what you mean by plate because you said it was like a charcuterie board.
It's like a charcuterie board. Did you finish any of the individual items?
There was like this spice stuff that smelled like home.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll a die to see how much I liked it, and if I liked it, I'm gonna have finished it.
Absolutely.
If no one else was eating it before I got sent off. Yeah, sure, I finished it.
Right. Yuka, as you begin to walk away, you watch as Rock gets up with you and starts walking downstairs. Cam and Fig, you're going to watch us walk to sort of wade. You're going to watch as Rock sort of wades through the water and ends up disappearing back into the kitchen. And Yuka, really before you can, like, catch up with her, you notice that she has emerged from the kitchen once again and is holding another bowl of that sort of that vegetable mix, that spiced vegetable mix, and is holding it out to you, Cam. Please continue eating. You are not full.
Oh no, I'm good. Thank you, but that really wasn't necessary.
Then you must take it with you, please.
May I ask why?
You finished your plate.
Yes, is polite.
Yes, so I'm offering more food as is polite. Big? Big, you know exactly what is happening here.
You're being auntie moded.
You're being auntie moded.
I'll accept it, I guess.
Wonderful. Don't worry about the bowl back away. We have many.
I've been told I'm not allowed to leave, so I'm just gonna keep this with me for now.
Understandable.
In town. Yep.
Yes. Well,
I'm now suspicious of the kitchen, by the way, just so people know.
do you want to
Because
do anything about that?
there's food in it?
No, because there's more food so quickly.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Do you have
Magical
any...
kitchen. I will say, May, I was just like, if that fireplace is underwater, how is she baking bread?
I had considered that too.
Oh, that is very funny. Do you want to guess at that, or?
No. Fig doesn't care about baking. Anyway.
Wait, okay.
Hold on a second.
No, fair enough.
Continue. This is silly.
Well, was there anything else before you were leaving, or should we?
Leaving? I thought we weren't allowed to leave. What?
I was just making sure that I don't know if you wanted to I don't know, with the storm coming, if you needed anything else, or if we could ask the library to drop off other supplies.
I don't think there's any real reinforcement I can do here on the Siren Song. I'll just have to
You
have Hags
absolutely
construction.
could. I just put down the bowl of food and I walk outside. not explaining what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Oh, she's
Do
she's
they
a
do that often?
builder with.
Or
Yeah, they have a poor view of shoddy workmanship.
where?
It's their expectations. I'm not sure what qualities they look for.
Certainly. Certainly. Okay.
Your home is yours, and what makes it wonderful is that you made it. And your
I'm not
hands care
touching
for
the
it.
home, by the way.
It's just the stonework.
No, I'm not even touching the stonework.
Oh.
I'm gonna build like walls around it that curve slightly outwards.
Yeah, absolutely, you can do this. Yeah.
I believe
Give
it
me,
is
give me
how
a
they
roll.
show
Give me a flat
affection.
D20.
Oh, there's your natural 20 for the day. I'm good at stonework, okay? I'm not good at intimidation or animal handling, but
Your
I'm good
special
with stone.
interest just kicked in,
Which
and
is
you're like, no, we're doing this.
really funny for a druid.
This is very good. Yeah, you
Stones.
make perfectly reinforced walls. They will hold up. You are in your brain. You're like, no. The earth could crack open underneath this house, and these walls will stay here.
I will be making like on the inside like stairs to get up, but from the outside, good luck getting in. Because the wall goes like what? The wall goes like what? Good luck.
Oh, good. Okay. Yes. Perfect. Yes.
You're like
Yeah, you
making
do
a
that.
palisade and a siege wall.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you absolutely do this.
But like around the entire thing. If there's buildings, of course not, but like solid.
Do you go around like the whole row of buildings, or is it just like there's no wall there?
How much longer would it take me to consider this entire block?
Honestly, with the nat 20, it's going to be like 10 additional minutes.
Great, I'm doing that. I'm just gonna keep this block as preserved as I can.
This is going to be Old Town in like 200 years.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, you do that. You're absolutely done. You believe in your crafts work. Incredible.
I just come back in and I don't say anything else.
It's just gonna look like the French Quarter.
It's gonna look like the French Quarter. So,
It will take away some of the sunlight going into the windows, but you know,
that's fair.
all things considered, you'll live.
Yuka, Fig, you watch Cam walk back in. As you've watched through the front window, a stone wall just like is erected in front of the building.
Yuka, as she's watching the construction with Fig, she's doing the thing that old Italian dads do, where she's just standing there with her hands crossed behind her back, watching the stoneware go up.
Yeah.
And she looks at Fig very briefly. Or excuse me, no, she just speaks to Fig while still looking at the construction work. I know you two heard. I expect you.
Actually, Yuka, you don't know that. You don't know that at all.
You can assume they heard.
I rolled for subtle spell, remember?
Fine.
I know you
I'm
passed
still
perception. I asked it earlier today.
Yeah, and Fig is never going to bring this up willingly.
Cam's too distracted.
It isn't often that I talk about myself. I appreciate your respect for my will to keep things private.
Of course, Lady Yuka.
And I expect that if you do ever hear anything about myself, as I will for you, do keep secrets secret for me.
Yes, that is very true and very agreeable. Cam, how's the wall looking?
Cam, you're done. You're walking back inside.
Protect it. And I'll
Cool.
go back to the ball tip because it actually is really good.
Does she do that often?
I didn't hear that.
Does she do that often? Just looking at like Yuka or Fig.
It is impossible to know what their regular behavior is.
I mean, they seem like they like doing their craft at any possible time, so
He is
I
fascinating.
suppose.
He is absolutely fascinating. Okay.
For your help, I owe you a debt. Should you ever find yourself in need of a natural remedy or an arcane secret of a druidic nature, you are welcome in my woods to find me, and I will help you.
Thank you. What woods are those?
How to explain? Yuka shifts into a melanistic fox. So there's just this like all black fox with a little tuft of white at the tip of the tail,
Yeah.
and just points her snoot in the direction of the woods.
If I could be of some service,
Yes, please.
I open up a map.
Oh, wonderful. This will work a lot better. Thank you. I see. Oh,
And
yeah,
I just
she was
point at,
pointing
like-
in that direction. No, this is true.
General area.
I see. Okay, yeah, no, she was pointing in that direction. I will not be traveling that way. I don't really want to go to those statues.
But anyway, I look at how much time has passed since we've been here.
Yep.
And I don't know if you want me to roll for how much the storm has moved in or not, or
No, you do not need to. You do not need to roll for that.
okay. Yes.
That is a stationary
Sort of like-
event.
Mm-hmm.
It will happen
Yeah.
the second I go out and try and fuck shit up.
Do you really think so little of me?
Absolutely.
It will actually happen the moment after you start.
Fair. Fair. Should have, yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know I'm gonna
Then-
arrive safely and then die.
Yeah. No, you are going to get there. Don't worry about it.
And then I think this. I don't know if you'd like to do it, or this is a good time to possibly figure out next plans. I don't know.
That is exactly what I was going to do. Thank you so much, May. Yeah, so, you guys have heard many a thing today. I know that you had a couple of different items on your to-do list that you thought about. Are there any you plan or you would like to particularly do in the immediate next steps?
Yeah, Kim wants to fix the dike but hasn't figured out where to find an arcane caster yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna have to come up next session. But actually,
Wait.
yeah, I Trogan have magic. I'm not just a sneaky bird.
So there's Throgan. There's also potentially Taffeta, depending on what kind of magic she does.
Yep.
I mean, we're
Marlo
not
as
allowed
well
back
has
in the
magic.
library.
No, but like they might be able to like come out at a safe distance. I
Or
don't know.
provide us with some tools that we can use remotely, if we ask nice.
Because yeah, my thing is, I don't know how much time we have left today. I mean, library was a short walk. We should probably be able to get there and.
They're
hopefully
not
to
going to
a
let us back
location.
in,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
I can write on the floor. Give us stuff.
It's like the opposite of skywriting.
Yeah, ground writing. Like revolutionary. Writing with a stick in the mud, but then on a big scale.
Yeah.
It's snow right. It's
just a
snow
big
riding.
stick.
But yeah, I think it'd be nice if we could solve a problem for this town if we cannot solve said large problem for this town.
And we know more about it now. Yuka is very determined to find the merchant and ask questions 3.
Okay.
I'm
The monkey's paw curls.
depending on what question you'd like to ask, Sunny, I might take you over on a side and talk to you about a certain book in my possession.
Yes. I would love to have a May and Sunny chat if we may. A little sidebar.
Yeah,
Sidebar,
so
let's
that would be
go.
like
But we can have that off stream. So yeah. I think in the immediate we should absolutely do a good turn for the town. Walls are reinforced for the storm, so that's good.
For this block.
For this block.
For this block.
Property
But-
value is gonna shoot up into the sky at this point, but
But the rich people are already like up on the cliff.
if they don't
So
matter.
they're fine. They're okay.
Mhm.
The people on the library floor should also be reinforced at this point. So they're
That is
good.
fair. Yeah.
like the folks who need immediate help and attention, they've already been helped. I don't know that we need to talk to folks who have like memory loss at this point because Rock already gave us a lot of input on that and insight, unless like that's a risk that we were willing to take. We'd also need to figure out how we were going to talk to them in the first place, because I don't imagine that people would be excited about like these folks who just broke quarantine talking to a bunch of ill people.
I should state, currently the only person who knows you even potentially broke quarantine is Charles Marlowe.
Who
Okay.
suggested it?
He didn't even suggest it. He was more just like, if you are looking... Sorry, you've got to give me a second. My chat has just popped off. The only thing that happened with Charles Marlowe was Charles Marlowe went, if you were looking
Jesus.
into the source of this is a place you could go. He didn't like tell you to go there. He didn't suggest you to go there. He was more just like, this is a location that exists on the map.
Okay.
I was just like, I think my priority in Figs is that there's a storm coming. I'd like to see if a way to at least maybe repair Sid Dike would be possible before that happens.
Yes. I will let you guys know that the storm is going to happen basically after the next plot point. So you could either choose that plot point is going somewhere else or going out to fix the dike. That is my time clock that I will give you for that.
Should
Got it.
probably fix the dike if the storm is coming, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure Cam was just gonna go. If you were gonna go, like, we're going back to the library, it's like, okay, I'll meet you at the dike. See you.
I
Yeah.
love Cam.
You've already
Cam's
touched-
single track mind.
You've
Makes sense.
already touched the water. If the
Cam's
water's
like,
poisonous, sounds like new problem.
Cam's like, I got work to do.
Yeah. There's shoddy stonework. I gotta fix it. That's how that works. Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
There's a reflection. It's so funny. Hello, reflection.
there was a reflection. Oh no.
Is that your PA?
That is my PA. That is my PA breaking my personal quarantine.
Oh my god.
How dare.
Sound engineer is not supposed to be in the shot. Sorry.
Enter and get back to your basement. No, I'm kidding. You think I have an
I
intern?
mean-
This is a one pony show.
Gonna say what sound editing?
I mean, you're right.
You're still kind of echoey.
Am I still echoing?
Just a bit. It's
It's
less
not
than
echo-
before, but
It's not echo, it's reverb.
It's reverb.
Yeah,
I'm
think-
not
I
a
think-
sound person.
I think it's well, because like the distinction would be like if like we were hearing a repeat, but we're not. We're mostly hearing like space and air and room tone when you talk.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of loud.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
No,
is
that's fair.
I think is that kind of what you meant, Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
No, and that is something that I was working at. I moved my mic during break and apparently did not quite fix it. But, we're working
That's
on it. We're working
okay.
on it. It's a work in progress.
We can probably work on a compression.
But that's something that we can mix in the studio later.
Anyways, so with that, I think we are going to be about done for the evening. Thank you, my dearest players, for giving me an explanation on what you guys are thinking about doing next. Yeah. So, with that being said, I know there's at least one person in this call that also has a thing to plug, so would you like to plug your thing?
Oh yes.
Hi.
Everyone
My
point
name
at
is
Sunny K.
Stop it. Hi, my name is Sunny K. I am a musician based in the American Midwest. I have a Bandcamp page called heysunnyk.bandcamp.com where there is currently one single available for purchase and more incoming in the weeks and months ahead. Here's a sneak peek for one. This is your cryptic clue.
I
Enthusiasts
love
of
cryptic clues.
enthusiasts of traditional music will probably know what that means. But there should be more music on the horizon shortly. I have been working on this for quite a bit, and have undergone a lot of changes to my recording situation as of late, so I haven't been able to put out the tracks that I want to in the quality that I want to, but stuff is coming. And eventually the music that you hear on this stream in the loading and in the credits during our title cards and our technical difficulties cards will also be available for download on Bandcamp and potentially other sites as well if I can get those figured out. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening, and go check out the page. If what you hear on stream sounds interesting to you, you can also find the single that I have for sale on Bandcamp, and I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that being said, May, Rose, anything you two want to plug this week?
YouTube.com/Nice. Also on all the things, Patreon and the other one that I forgot the name of.
I love you. You're doing good.
Coffee.
Follow-
There you go. I know.
Follow Annalise on Coffee and on Patreon. Patreon is really affordable. It is only $1 or whatever the equivalent of that in euros is. It's very affordable, and almost all of the resources on there are free as long as you follow.
I do want to specify all of my posts on Ko-fi and Patreon, except for any PDFs I post, are fully accessible if you do not pay me. You do not have to pay me. Just hit that follow button and you will unlock my posts. This is mostly so that I can keep you guys up to date on my streaming schedule, along with share any other information that I feel like might be cool to share. In addition to that, the one that my player did not plug for me because I wanted them to plug their own stuff if they had it, was
I
my
don't
YouTube
have
channel.
stuff.
I know, but I check in case you do, you know?
Maybe I should start something just to plug it.
Yeah. Just find a funny Imgur link or something. I don't know.
That sounds like
No.
effort.
Please also follow us on YouTube. My personal YouTube channel is Nalise RPG. We have up all of our VODs from old videos, old broadcasts, along with a couple of YouTube exclusive videos where I talk a little bit more about my style of DMing and stuff like that. So, with all of that being said, thank you for joining us this week. We will hopefully stream again next week, barring any weird last-minute cancellations. And yeah, have fun in all of your games, finding new games, continuing the existing ones, and we hope you play again once more with feeling. So, see y'all. Where's my end of stream card there?
Off Baratara, shining shores, fine sailing folk are we. The line between the sea and sky our only boundary. On crashing waves and even tides we'll navigate the sea. Steadfast our mission in our minds to keep these waters free.